Hi guys, how's it going? Guess today is going to be a slightly different kind of post for today. I've just been seeing quite a bit of interest across YouTube and a lot of videos that are being posted about how things are starting to feel a bit weird in today's world and society. Maybe that, things are starting to become a bit off kilter or a bit strange, or even to some degree, there's a growing amount of psychosis afflicting this world. And I'm starting to feel that same sentiment. Something compelled me to just kind of get on here and talk about it. So I guess I'll just rant for as long as I can. And then once that is all over, I can end the video here. But yeah, first up, there is a strange feeling that a lot of people are feeling, not just at the individual level where people feel that time's speeding up, or that things are becoming more difficult for them, or maybe that they have to push a bit further and harder in order to make things work in life. But I also see that people around us are beginning to split into two camps, and many of them are the people who are kind of becoming introverted and who have decided to back away from society altogether. I could potentially put myself in that camp, not to the same extent, because I do like to be social. I do like friends, but I've had to cut a significant amount of people out. And this is, of course, due to the fact that there is a bifurcation between myself and those people, especially in the development paths that we've chosen. It's not to say that people are bad or anything per se. It's just we're not vibing at the same frequency. And I noticed that I'm, at the point where I've had to cut a lot of people off, and it has allowed me to bring my energy back into a period of homeostasis and balance, and generally improving my well-being, both mentally and physically. And this has helped me to also focus on the relationships that really matter in my life. And so when you have fewer people that you can lean on to, reach out to, there's fewer distractions, so you get a chance to focus on your life and what you want to make of it. Now, the other thing is that as a lot of people do this, there's the growing number of people in society, and I would say they are the majority. And this may sound a bit harsh, but I think that people have absolutely lost their shit to the degree where they're no longer functioning human beings. I would actually say, dare I may say, defective people roaming around the world who are operating on a level of profound baseness. Not baseness in the sense that, you're based and you can see how things are working and you kind of understanding what's going on, but it's the exact opposite. It's kind of the zombie apocalypse, as I like to call it. There are a lot of people who operate basically on their simplest urges and drives, to the point where those have overtaken any sense of understanding of the world around them, any sense of empathy. Um, dare I may even say, it has pushed them beneath the level of a functioning, coherent human being. Now, we have seen this on Facebook, we've seen this on social media, TikTok, Snapchat. Social media is a very, very good tool. Now, people may say that we should get off of social media, we should learn how to be independent of social media. Social media makes people do this and that and that. No, actually, I firmly disagree with people who have that kind of mindset, because social media is nothing more than a tool. And I speak a lot about the Black Mirror, the tool that was used by John Dee in order to scry into the future. Technology gives us the ability to predict human behavior. It gives us the chance to share information at rapid rates. But more importantly, what social media has done, is it has exposed the people in our society who operate at that base level, at the very, very primal level, where their ego has overtaken their higher self. And additionally, they expose themselves for either A, being frauds, um, being degenerate people, and more importantly, erratic or dysregulated people. There have been so many cases. You can just scroll through YouTube, you can look online, social media, you can watch this, you can watch the news. There's an abundance of stories of people who are using social media to expose their inner nature. And these are the people that are being dragged into the sunlight thanks to social media. And so, what we're noticing, I would say there's about a 90-10 split. I wouldn't even say the Pareto principle. I would say it's a good solid 90-10%. 90% of people functioning, specifically in Western society, but probably in others, they're just not with it. There's no light behind their eyes. A lot of people are working on their most selfish, narcissistic, parasitic type of attitude to how they relate to other people. Or they may have a certain hang up or maladaptive coping strategy that prevents them from relating to people in a positive and healthy reciprocal manner. And these are the things that I speak about when I do tarot card readings. So, of course, going back, we see that more people are becoming introverted because they're inundated with the chaos of the world, things that have been taking shape. So that's at the microcosm level. That's the inner world. The immediate environment, we find the bifurcation, the split of people into the camps. I would say 90-10%. And then at the greater macro cosmic level, we're finding that chaos has kind of shaken many of the things that have provided us with a false sense of security in this world, whether those are economic markets. I've been speaking a lot about the Iran war and done some predictions on that, which have actually come true, which is a testament to the power of tarot, I believe personally. But we're seeing a lot of things shaken up. Leaders are being ousted. There was a big situation that happened with Keir Starmer today, with his lack of transparency in appointing formerly known as Peter Mandelson, if I'm not mistaken, that's his right name, and who was tied to the Epstein files, which I'm not going to go on that rant today, but case in point, it's almost like we're being pushed over a cliff's edge with all of the things that are taking place in society. The Iran war was a big one. The Mandelson scandal, the Epstein files, Trump. People are being accused of Trump derangement syndrome, but it seems that now that Trump himself has a level of derangement syndrome that is being masterfully exposed by his own behavior through social media. So again, social media has allowed us to see the person for who he really is. And I think that that's a very good tool. If a person's ego allows them to want to post their most sinister thoughts, their most wicked manipulations onto the internet for everyone to see, they are doing us a great service and a great favor by allowing us to know who and who not to invite into our personal space. And, there's been people who have said that we're living in an age and a time in which it's kind of like an apocalypse. And, apocalypse, when you look at the etymology of the word, it is Greek for revelation or a revealing of things. So, yeah, you could say this is the apocalypse. Welcome to the zombie apocalypse, where we are exposing people for operating in an unconscious manner. Going back to what I like to quote, from certain, YouTube videos I've posted, I constantly reinforce the idea of Carl Jung's quote, where he says, loosely put, if you do not make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Well, this is exactly what's taking place in society. I mean, people's fates are being directed by their ego drives, their desire for validation through social media, through behaviors and patterns that have led to a kind of a bit of a mass psychosis. And so, a psychosis can develop in groups, in large groups of people. There is a microcosmic psychology to each person, and then the way they develop in groups. Gustave Le Bon, he was one of the main people who focused on mob psychology, and you can read his book. I think it's online, and also you can read it. Go to your local bookstore and pick a copy up on that. But when we see how people operate in large groups, we are then also noticing how people are seeking validation to say even the most godforsaken things, to espout ideologies that are driving men and women apart, that are justifying the atrocities of other countries, that are, sweeping things under the rug. And the refusal to take accountability for those things will only lead to more suffering. So I suppose the only thing that I really wanted to drive home with this whole rant is that if you feel that things are not really working out in society and that you are feeling that pull towards going within and doing your own shadow work and finding your own sense of inner peace, which is what I have consciously chosen to do. I do have a network of friends which I have centralized quite a bit, which is now allowing me to focus on what really matters in life. You could even say that this is rampant through the dating scene, as I have ranted about before in the past, where relationships are no longer about love, they're about transactions. And even more so, they're about imbalances of power. And I refuse to be a part of that unless I was to find the right woman for that. But to be fair and honest, I enjoy my peace and quiet, my serenity that I find when I'm in my own energy. I'm not sure how other people feel. You can talk about that in the comments below. Maybe just, give me some insights on what you expect from other people these days, because I think that as we hurtle towards mid 2026, things are about to speed up, and I think they're about to get even crazier. So if you feel that the world has gone mad, the only way to keep your wits about you is to focus on your own wits and to learn the art, the very important art of psychic self-defense. Maybe I'll post some videos about that a bit later on, but that is 100% how I feel about the way things are nowadays. It becomes harder to relate to people. Life itself actually becomes a bit of a parody or what's the best word to say? A satire of its former self. And last but not least, it feels that the only way to live on this earth without losing everything is to find yourself within. I will continue until I'm blue in the face, and that's definitely going to be hard, to drive the point home that the single most important mission of this channel is not to find love and relationships, but it is to simply find yourself and form a relationship to your true nature. You will not be able to find that in a tarot reading where people are constantly searching for the next person, validating the experiences that they've had in previous relationships. It is good to go through that, and it is good to understand how to transmute those energies from present and past relationships. But as we go into the modern age, it is going to be a fucking hard sell to justify why it is important to actually get into a relationship, not without a reciprocal energy that is going to allow you to feel that the person you're with is actually in love with you and wants to build something with you. And until the day comes in which you find that, you have to go into this world knowing that you could die alone, or you could not have a family and kids and do all of the things that people expect of you. What it is more important for you to do now is to build yourself as an entirely whole person. I refuse to focus on, oh, this person's coming into your life, this is going to be amazing, and they're going to do all this stuff for you. It's like, that is the world and the realm of codependency that has built what we are seeing in 2026. And codependency spans the entire paradigm of the madness that we are seeing today. That includes the rise of narcissism in this society. That includes the feelings of self-loathing that people feel that lead to the death of people in a needless manner. So people who, I think there was a woman recently on My 600-Pound Life that died from complications of health issues that she was facing due to the fact that she overate because she loathed herself. She hated herself. There are people who are doing mad, absolutely mad things. There was a story of a woman who held a kid at knife point because she was in some manic state of mind. And of course, everyone's seeing the stories of the guy who looks like Milhouse trying to who broke through a screen door and decided he was going to play a character, Harry Dredson or something like that, and try to go after someone's family and take a shovel to the fucking head because he was in such a mad state. These are all going to be exposed through social media, news, technology that we have to disseminate the pure insanity and the electricity that is building within our world, because we are moving towards that age of Aquarius where things are going to be electric, erratic, mad, but in other words, genius, innovative, and groundbreaking. So it's important now that we start to choose how we're going to interact with others, how we're going to choose to interact with people in the society, and then find a way to build a happiness that no one can take away from you. I guess that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there. We're almost at 20 minutes. I just felt like I needed to go through a bit of a stream of consciousness to get these ideas out. I thought I was going to plan out some major kind of speech about what I wanted to say on here, but honestly, I couldn't be asked to do it. It's Friday. I just want to sit here, have a pint, and watch some TV for now. I'm just going to leave it there. Thanks so very much. Until next time, love and light. Bye now.